So I'm actually only plat on DPS. So I watched like the first couple of minutes of this to see if there was anything that I could really give for advice. There is some stuff. I mean, not quite as much as I could tell you if you're playing like. I mean, I mostly play support, and or that's is my highest role at least. So I generally can give more micro. But there are some things definitely here that I think it can help you with. You said your tank blamed you for this. I mean, that's never really something you need to worry about, right? Like, there's always things that you can improve on your gameplay, and but it's never up to one person, right? It's a team game. Okay, so the first thing though is this first death here. Um, like here, I think you were the better shot, but then here you actually give her the advantage because when you do something like this, like you bunny hop into so there's no reason to be jumping here, right? Because you actually give her like an easier, bigger hitbox. If you look at this from her perspective, like you give her pretty much your entire body that she can hit. Like even if she didn't hit the headshot here, she has the mercy pocket that like she's like you're not going to win by peeking this and jumping, and you don't scoped in. So just be careful when you're taking like these. Like it'd be really easy to just sit here and like just peek normally, right? And be scoped in is how you'd want to take it because she's already scoped in here. So by you jumping up and giving her like she gets an easy headshot here, it's because you jumped up and like exposed your entire body to her, and you weren't like you weren't gonna win that duel because you didn't give you didn't put yourself in a position to um I guess a good like when you're taking duels, you generally want to try as much as you can, especially when you're playing the same character, to like put yourself in a favorable position, and in that when you actually put yourself in an unfavorable position for it. For this one, like there's not a whole ton you can do. I mean, it's all right that you get the tank here, right? But you risking yourself dying here, like a obviously they have mercy, but B they're going to cap this point, right? Because your entire team is dead aside from you. So even if you kill this tank, like she's they're capping point, and then she respawns right here. Like unless she gets, it takes long enough that she gets long spawn. But even then, like they have really close spawn here, which is more than likely what she'll get. So like going after I guess you get like a little bit of ultimate, but you also then risk dying and then getting long spawn and then being stuck away from your team when they come in. Like re-peeking this is really bad because you easily could have died there, and then your team would just be you'd be staggered from your team. Like there's no point for your Genji to be going in here either. Like you see how easily your Genji got obliterated because that could have been you, and now your ball goes in and I think it's right here. Yeah, right here he goes in, and this is just like there's no reason for him to just be jumping, driving into the middle of their team right there, outside of their spawn, right? Like that. Yeah, that's not your fault. Like that's not anything on your team for doing. So yeah, just they end up getting the jump on you guys. You do a pretty good job holding them off here, just getting a cover when you're getting low. Like this part, it's just pretty standard. Right, your tank gets back. She's playing D.Va now, so she can somewhat contest high ground with you if you want to. That's good helping your supports. I mean, like, most of this is pretty good. I mean, there's obviously his mechanics here. Should be hitting shots on the Mercy, but it comes with practice. It's not like I would do any better. Yep, this is just good. I mean, you guys win that pretty heftily. You do a good job controlling high ground here, making it so they have to push up on you if they want it. Yeah, you're a little bit far for the but it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is another part right here, right? Like this, you could definitely kill this Mercy, right? Like when she comes here and you give up because it seems like I mean, maybe you don't realize at least as far as I know, this isn't a hitbox because I think you could still hit here, but regardless, like if you stayed scoped here, you would actually have an easy chance to shot. Like even if this, I assume that's not one of those like wonky hitboxes where like the whole thing it looks like there's a gap, but there's not. But because her head was like right here, like her entire upper body, that if you hit like headshot and then body shot and she's dead. Either way, like you could easily be shooting at any point here and just kind of looking at her. I'm not sure why, but definitely would have been worth at least a trying to get the kill there. And then you get that's a really nice shot on the Mercy. Yes, team fight's done. Yeah, just rotating high ground is good. Yep. Reaper's on your left side, and they get him. Cool. So you go next fight. Overall, I think your team in general is doing pretty alright. Definitely looking for a spot for Bob this next fight since you have ultimate. Yeah, so I again, like, your Orissa's just this is completely on your tank. I mean, you see how wide she's taking this angle. Like, she has both of her defensive cooldowns, takes this extreme wide corner, doesn't realize that her backline's being distracted, so she's not getting healed. Like, she should be playing here, right? Like, there's no reason to sit over here in the slightest. Like, she can be up on high ground, or she can be back down here. So I'm assuming right now what this is just like she's not protecting her backline, and thus, which is fine. I mean, if it's a 4v2 over here, like they can probably win that. And she just needs to be at the point where she knows what's going on, and be either holding like the corner here, or at least like using her defensive cooldowns, or attempting not to die. And like there's no shot there that she gets down to like 200 health and then just uses no defensive cooldowns. That's not your fault. Yeah, it definitely would not. This just made yourself an easy target for this. If this Ashe hits her shot, this actually gives her like another shot. Uh, so just this if you watch this, I'm assuming that this from her perspective, right? Like, you give her just a complete exposing of your body instead of backing off to where she can't hit you and like crouching out of her vision. This just gives her like an easy chance that she could have hit a headshot and killed you. Then just be careful when like you're using that, you're not launching yourself into people's timelines. And now this I mean, maybe you can win this, but probably not. This Bob is something that, like, if it was gonna be used, it could have been used like maybe when this was happening. So when you see your Junker Queen ult, right? Like, this could have been a chance where you throw Bob on point, and then he holds off the rest of the team, while you guys all fight this Junker Queen, right? That probably would have been your chance here. Otherwise, I just save Bob at this point, because like it's a lost fight, and just using ults in general on a lost fight is right. Like, all that's here, I think, is just you and your Moira. No, and your Genji, I guess, is over here, but they still have their entire team. So it's, if you can kill this Kiriko, maybe you guys can get. No, I mean, they still have the Moira there, so the odds of Bob winning this, especially when your tank dies like before the fight's even started, it's rough. But that fight, I don't like, isn't your fault. There's just, just save ultimates when you can, if you think that a fight's gonna be lost. Which generally, if your tank dies at the very beginning of it, there's a small chance. Actually, they might swing this because your Genji ulted too. Maybe, yeah, maybe it does. Maybe it did kind of win it. I still don't know that timing was great for it, but again, like, it's full, like, your tank just kind of, you shouldn't have been in that position in the first place, so you didn't really have a good spot to throw Bob. I don't know why she's ulting here. I'll be genuinely, like, and this is what I see with most most games that are like this, right? Is where they say like, oh, this person was like blaming some whoever. Like, look at watch your Orisa here. Like, or oh no, this was after. Okay, right here. Like, who is she? Who is she ulting? Like she wastes two ultimates here because she's nano. Like she wastes nano not doing anything, and then she just like I think they're just genuinely worse than your whatever than Diamond here. Like this is just really weird. That's some nice parkour. It's good, yeah. Watching the Reaper. He comes up, use your boomstick, nice. Yeah, that was really well played. I don't know about the emote. Don't know about the emote, but that was so well played. Yeah, I don't know that you need your boomstick there, but I mean, it's alright. Like, you guys won the fight regardless. That's just unlucky. I mean, you didn't know they had their Pharah coming out. Like, that was the first time we've seen the Pharah, so really be expecting it. Probably want to be taking high ground here again. Definitely good kill on Moira. Still want to be like you don't really want to be like here walking. Like I get you can launch yourself away, but you don't really want to be walking towards the Junker Queen who excels at close range when you excel at like long range, right? And you also, yeah, you have to be aware of that you don't know where the Pharah is during this fight. So as the hit scan is kind of your job to like mostly be, yeah. So again, like the fight's already lost, they cap point here, and now you use Bob. Like if Bob jumps in here and gets a 5k and kills everybody and you get play of the game, like they still spawn right here because they just capped the point. That's the biggest thing to keep track of is like if Bob kills everybody, it doesn't matter right here because it's just they're right next to their spawn. They just cap to the point. Like it's not gonna stop them from doing anything. It'll take like 5 seconds off their timer maybe, and then they'll just be right back here. So at this point, like you just gotta, yeah. So he actually does kind of kill everybody, but again, like they see how they're already respawning and they're right back here. Like it feels really good. Like trust me, I believe. Like I know it feels really great to do that, but like and granted, like their Junker Queen, there's no reason that their Junker Queen should have sat out there once their team died. But regardless, like they're already back here, right? They already melted your. Which we're gonna just watch a little bit of this. I don't know how they died again. Okay, so they're just chilling, not doing anything, spins out for no reason, walks into the middle of the enemy team, doesn't use fortify, dies. Yeah, your team is, or your tank is like 3 kinds of brain dead. I don't. Like there's things that yeah you can improve on, but no, this game from what I can tell is like just 90% your tank sucking so far. It's unfortunate that Junker Queen was a pretty good play. That was a nice knife she hit. Good shots, good shots. You want to be looking at, yeah. I mean, you do a good job like shooting at squishies too. Like I mean, like you said, like your target prioritization. That's always good. Yeah, this might be a time to just throw. Well, no, I mean you probably want to save it for the last team fight. Yeah, they are gonna need a team fight. So I see you get healed up. Safari here. Good finish. And this is a spot you can throw Bob if you want to, just to make sure kills get confirmed, but yeah, you don't really need it. See, unless something changes on, like, defense, I really think your tank was like by far the weakest link on your team. Because just any time I've watched their gameplay has just been. I mean, you see how they're always dying like super early into fights too. Like, that there's no reason that wouldn't be anything like unless they're just not getting healed at all at any point. That's like even then that's has nothing to do with the DPS. Like that's. I can watch a bit of this, but I mean, yeah, that's as far as I can tell. Yeah, I mean, you get the pick on fire, good. Yep, trying to push the tracer off is good, next priority. Yeah, good dynamite, I mean. Yeah, and yeah, you just kind of need your Rhine to push up here. This is good though, taking up. Probably like want to run over the top, yeah, and look for the mercy kill. Or not, yeah, Pharah's back, that's good. Yeah, throwing dynamite. Yeah, so I mean, I think a lot of this is just like your Rhine just not. Granted, like it's hard to play Rhine when you all you have is like a mercy pocket because it seems like your Moira's just kind of off doing this. So he's I can see his frustration if this has been something that's been going on a lot because like there if this is what the main support's off doing, um, but that still has nothing to do with you, right? Like you go in, you get picks, you create pressure on their back line. I think like mostly you're doing really well. I mean the main thing has just been like your ult usage, uh, and like now like your Ryan is just pissed off and he's feeding. That's all that's going on here. Like your team is not even respawned, and he especially like the supports are dead, and he's just running in. So there's yeah. Although now this yeah is also not great. Like again, you're just throwing Bob out here. Your team's not up here, right? Like unless your goal is to just, I mean, create space since your tank isn't doing anything, I guess. But like he's definitely not gonna get like kills here if they have any, you know, awareness of at all of what's going on. Um, it'd be careful taking this far up just because your tank's not here yet. I think you realize that though. It's a good kill. Yeah, if you can fish the mercy, it's huge. Yep. Yep. But yeah, it's just I think that's been about enough. Like the most thing that I see is just your ult usage that could be working. Just throwing in when you're in fights or even like fights start, it can be good to throw Bob like at like weird angles where he's puts pressure on the back line or knocks people out of position and he can add like a lot of extra pressure to people as opposed to like leading with him or throwing him after fights are won. I think that was the biggest thing, but like otherwise, yeah, it was like most of this from what I've seen is just your tank like flaming you because they're not playing well. Uh, so yeah, hopefully, I mean, some of this helps with a few micro things, but like I said, I'm not super high rank on DPS or anything, but that was that's my reading of the situation.